or gaining muscle for yourself, now ViSalus is going to go out there and feed kids for our hard work and getting our sexy back. How many of you guys love that? This is the greatest company on earth. I'm so proud to be a part of ViSalus. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Ashley Sarnicola. I found this amazing blessing about 5.5 years ago. I was a top pharmaceutical rep out of Atlanta, Georgia. And I was, in an industry where, every single day I got to go and talk to very highly educated doctors about pharmaceutical drugs. And if you are a doctor in the room, or you're a physician or a wellness, practitioner, you guys give your lives to help other people, and that is such an honorable thing. If you guys are a wellness practitioner or a physician, you guys would stand up. Anybody, chiropractor, anyone in the wellness industry, guys, give these folks a big round of applause. Thank you guys for being here. One of the things that I realized, though, is that I wasn't on the front lines like those folks. I was actually going out there and talking about pharmaceutical drugs, and 98% of pharmaceutical drugs just mask symptoms. They do not cure disease. I'll say that again for those of you who are taking notes. 98% of pharmaceutical drugs just mask symptoms. They do not cure disease. And what we in this room are a part of is a solution to real health and getting to people before it's too late. And before they need to stack on all of these expensive drugs, right? And some drugs are stacked on just to treat the side effects of other drugs. Hear, hear. And we are impacting in a big way the largest epidemic right now in North American history, the epidemic of obesity. And the people that you guys are going to meet this afternoon are all here in one place at one time. The people truly responsible for changing my life, your body, the bodies of your children, your community, your family, the genius scientists behind our amazing product line, which is the best product line on earth. Nothing compares to ViSalus products. Who else agrees with me there? Raise your hand. So one thing I do want to let you know, you don't need to be a product expert. If you're in this room and you're like, before I go home and take my business seriously, I've got to go to the scientific breakout so I can learn all of the science before I have success. Not true. In fact, I would actually recommend the opposite. Because the more you go out of this room today and you start spilling all these scientific data and facts on people, which I also find very interesting, by the way, you're actually going to scare people off, because the majority of people are more interested in your excitement, your passion, your personal transformation, before and after pictures. Just want to hear the story about the challenge and hear you get excited about it. Because the majority of people on earth aren't really excited about stuff like we are, right? Are we the ViSalus community? We're pretty excited people, right? A lot of folks are out there, if you're just a positive person in that prospect's day, or the person you're talking to, you're going to get 10 times further than if you know everything all the time. I know all of us wish we had a mini Audrey, Dr. Simon, or Dr. Witherly in our pocket. When we get those stupid questions, you guys know what I'm talking about? We're like, oh yeah, Dr. Witherly, you got this one, get on it. Oh yeah, Dr. Simon got that one, here you go. We wish we had that, but guys, I'm telling you now, trust me on this one, because I learned the hard way. I'm speaking from example. In fact, I would go to folks and talk about the mitochondrial DNA deletions in the VI pack, because I was so fired up about it. So interesting. And I was scaring people away. I was actually deleting people off my list very quickly, okay? So again, no need to be a product expert. Today is about you building confidence right now in this next 45 minutes to an hour that we have with these amazing people, all right? So if you're new to the room, we're going to go through a quick review the kits and the products, and then we're going to come up with the scientists for an in-depth look at what these products are doing in our bodies and why they're making such an impact all over North America and now the UK. If you haven't already picked a kit, now would be a good time, okay? If you've been here all day and you haven't picked a kit, do that now. Make that commitment. In fact, if you're writing notes, write down which kit it is that best matches your goal. As I'm going through these, when you identify which kit it is that's going to help you achieve your 90-day goal. The balance kit, I'm going to keep this really simple, is the please leave me alone, okay, I will order something kit. All right, I'll order something. Here's my card. Just give me the balance kit. All right, let's be honest, right? Now, this kit, in all seriousness, is great for people who don't eat breakfast, who are trying to do something healthy, or who just want to shake after a workout. And you will see, obviously, with the balance kit and the shake kit. For those of you who want to lose weight, people will see some weight loss through sheer calorie reduction with the shakes, right? Moderate weight loss, again, with the shake kit, you're not going to see the kind of weight loss that you'll see with the transformation kit. But I'm going to let the doctors talk about the science here. For those of you who are athletes, you have an active lifestyle, or you just want to improve your workout, or maybe you're somebody who's like, hey, I'm pretty healthy, I want to maintain my health goal. This is also a great kit for people who have achieved their weight loss goal to then transition onto the core kit. I like to keep things very simple. It's also the only kit that comes with the VI pack. Write that down. If you just want to keep things simple for yourself and you're promoting the challenge, that's how I do it. Shake kit, you're going to see some weight loss because of calorie reduction. Core kit, the only one that comes with the VI pack. It's a great transition kit after you've already lost your weight, or for people with maintenance goals. And this is where I get crazy. Oh, I love the transformation kit. Stand up for me if you have lost 10 pounds or more on the challenge in this room. Ladies and gentlemen, give these folks a big, big whoop. Everybody, give these folks a big round of applause. Guys, this is what it's about. Look around. This is why we wake up every day. So happy for all of you. The transformation kit is the kit that is going to help the 67, almost 70% of Americans who are out there who are overweight lose, on average, about 10 to 15 pounds per month. The doctors are going to cover this, but I'll tell you that a lot of our original trials that we looked into, some weight loss with our products were done with a 3-component system, not just the VI Shake, but apparently these 3 products work better together. Right? The VI Shake, the VI Trim, and the VI Slim. And if you haven't noticed this, they actually are numbered 1, 2, and 3. When you go home and you look in your cabinet or your shake drawer, you can find out that if you've ever had the transformation kit, they're numbered 1, 2, and 3 because they were originally designed to be a part of a 3-component system. And for those of you who don't know this, one of the reasons why people see results like crazy on the transformation kit is because we're one of the only shakes out there that's proven to maintain or grow muscle while losing fat. Maintain or grow muscle while losing fat. The doctors are going to give you the scientific side behind this. But just in layman's terms really quick, do you know why other diets, right, that exist out there, people will actually see results? But the problem is this. When they're losing the weight, they're also losing what?
Muscle.
Got it. Muscle. And finish this sentence for me. Muscle burns more calories than... Wow. Interesting. So you're telling me that the reason those other diets and things don't work is because they're not designed for long term. Because when people are losing the weight, they're also losing the muscle. And when they get off the plan, because it's too expensive or it tastes bad, or it tastes like cardboard, or they can't fit into their lifestyle because it takes too long to prepare, or to count, or to add the points, or whatever other plans exist out there, you're telling me that their body is actually in a worse place than when they started?
You got it.
You got it. The answer is yes. That is why the challenge is a long-term solution to the epidemic of obesity. Right there, because you're gaining muscle while losing what? Remember that, ladies and gentlemen? Write it down. You guys know it comes in the transformation kit. The doctors are going to talk more about that. The fit kit, raise your hand if you're an athlete in this room and you've been on the fit kit. Amazing. I know I love all the hands. See the athletes in the room too. We have a nice mix here with ViSalus. Bottom line, guys, the fit kit is one that comes with your Go and Pro. If you do not like to work out, it's okay. I know that we are a wellness company, but not everybody likes to work out. Not everybody in the audience today likes to work out, believe it or not. If that is you, I'm going to let the docs talk a little bit about the Go and Pro. I call it the Superman and Superwoman juice. Because you will, instead of running from the gym, you'll be like, just one more set. One more set. It's amazing stuff. It will change your life. Don't take my word for it. Try it yourself. Athletes, get on the fit kit. So now we're going to talk to the people that all of you are in this room to hear from today. The reason why our lives have changed and the thousands and thousands of people's lives have changed. Our amazing scientific advisory board, and I'm going to ask you guys to stand on your feet. And I want you to scream and give them the ViSalus love they deserve. Audrey Summerfield, on stage with these people. You know, there's actors and there's all these famous people. I mean, hey, we're in LA, we're in the Hollywood area. You know, those people aren't real heroes. They're just actors. These three people right here are changing thousands and thousands of lives. These are real heroes right here. So it would take me another probably 3 hours just to give you their bios. Let me just sum this up. They're really, really smart. Really, really smart. So Nick and the guys, they said, Ashley, come here. And things get just like really technical. Every now and then if you need to be like, okay, here's what they mean. Then just dig in there and let everybody else know what they mean by some of the scientific stuff they're going to be covering today. So I'm excited myself just to learn from these folks. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through individually some of the products here and give them a chance to sound off on some things that you guys as promoters need to know. Some things that will build your confidence when you're out there talking about our products. They're going to cover things. We're not going to cut corners today. We're not going to brush things under a rug. They're going to also be covering maybe some objections. How many of you guys want to hear some answers to some of the stupid objections that you're hearing out there, right? And you want the answer to that? They're going to be covering some of those too today. So with that, the very first thing we're going to talk about, obviously, is the Vi Shake. The Vi Shake, and why that is changing hundreds of thousands of lives. So, intelligent, beautiful people. Over to you guys.
Well, thank you so much for having us here. The secret to our success is really the cornerstone of the shake. The shake mix that tastes like a cake mix. Now, a lot of people ask me why ours are so good. It's the quality of the protein, the quality of the ingredients. And I'll let these two talk about the science in a minute, but there's only 3 things that food companies can do to cheat food to make them taste good. And it's logical common sense. Fat, salt, sugar. What do you do with bland bread? You put butter on it, or you dip it in oil because fat makes the flavor in your mouth bigger. And some of the brands out there have a lot of fat in their shakes, and a lot of saturated fat, which we know is not healthy for you. What do you do with bland food? You put salt on it, right? Because the salt makes the flavor bigger. Well, we have only 75 milligrams of sodium. That's the same amount as in a cup of skim milk. And why? Well, on the news this morning, we eat too much sodium. We eat, on average, 40 to 50% more than we should. Leads to hypertension, all sorts of other health issues. And then sugar. You heard us say it on stage today. The average teenager is eating 4 pounds of sugar a week. The average adult's eating 8 ounces of sugar a day, but only 1 ounce of lettuce a day. So we know our diets are unhealthy. So if you look at our shake and compare it to any other shake on the market, we are lower sugar, lower sodium, lower fat, better flavor because of the quality of the ingredients. And those ingredients include our Trizor protein blend. So I'm going to turn to Dr. Simon and answer that question again that we answered on stage. Soy protein. What do you think of soy protein?
Can I talk about salt for one more second? I'm sorry. So there was just a study that just showed that 1 out of 10 people in the world are dying because of too much salt in your diet. So it's a huge problem. 1 out of 10 people will die because of too much salt. So, what was your question? No, I remember. It was about soy. So, what do you want to know about soy?
Is it easy to digest?
Yeah.
How do you use it?
So soy is an amazing protein. I don't know how many of you were there for this morning session where we briefly talked about it. But soy has been around for as long as God had built this planet, right? I mean, it's been here forever. I mean, you can say the same about poison hemlock. It's been around too, because poison hemlock is bad for you. Soy is very good for you. So soy is just a very well-absorbed protein. It has a lot of incredible benefits for you. It's easy on the digestive system. And we've actually taken the isoflavones out, so it's isoflavone free. Actually, for the FDA, it's isoflavone free. For the FTC,
For the FTC, it's isoflavone free. For the FDA, it's reduced isoflavone.
Yeah, so it's pretty much non-existent, is the long story short. And we took it out for a variety of reasons, but this is what I was addressing earlier. There are about 150,000 different kinds of phytonutrients that are known. There were a couple that actually happen to be in our soy. We removed them, but you still get them if you take the BiPAC, if you take the flavoring that we add into the shakes. There's a lot of different phytonutrients that your body needs.
And Dr. Witherly, what do you think of soy?
I just can't do this sitting down. 1.5 billion Chinese eat soy all day long. They don't seem to have a problem with it.
Now, the funny thing is, I get a lot of emails from a lot of promoters that go, oh, but so-and-so says that only fermented soy is healthy for you.
Two other things about soy. The soy that we use is non-GMO, which means it's not genetically modified. Very important. Actually, write that down.
You don't have a lot.
Non-GMO soy, that's very important. The other thing is, I was interviewed about the benefits of soy. We have one of the largest North American processing plants of soy milk in Michigan, and I was interviewed for a large paper. And the funniest thing is that the interviewer interviewed me in my lab for about 45 minutes about the benefits of soy and about osteoporosis and about cognition and about healthy bones and healthy heart and all the good things that soy is critical for. And she says, okay, Dr. Simon, after interviewing me for about 45 minutes, just can you give me like one summary? I said, sure, soy is great. And she says, okay, great. And then the next day I read the paper and I said, honey, to my wife, I'm in the paper and she's reading this first page, nothing in it, second page. Dr. Michael Seiden, the medical director of wellness at a very large health system in the Midwest, says, quote, soy is great, unquote. I'm like, dude, you talked to me for 45 minutes. So, soy is great.
Okay, one last point is the formulator. Why soy is in there. Soy is the last protein we digested, and it makes you feel full at the end. Remember, whey hydrolyzate first, then whey, then the soy. Soy does something whey does not. You know what it is? Lowers cholesterol. You got 100% whey formula from the competition? Ask them what it does to their cholesterol.
How many Americans, women, go through menopause and have significant issues with hot flashes? Overwhelmingly, the vast majority of women. In Asia, it is almost non-existent. Why? A lot of soy in the diet.
And to answer the question on why we don't use fermented soy, that's actually another one of those myths that out on the internet. And how many of you have ever done the telephone game? Trust me, those myths about soy on the internet and certain doctors out there that I swear I will slap if I ever meet them. It's crazy, but we don't use fermented soy because that's miso and soy sauce. The protein is killed, so it's a lot of myth out there. Now we do have the Trizor protein blend because there are clinicals that show that the blend that we're using helps build lean muscle more effectively than a single protein alone. And again, our protein is the highest quality, most absorbable protein on the planet today. And we added aminogen to help make it even more absorbable. So you don't need a lot of protein. When mixed with milk, you're getting 20 to 25 grams, the amount nutritionists recommend most. And it's easily digested, which is why you find soy protein in baby foods.
And soy is great.
I love that. You know, and if for those of you who are writing notes, some of the highlights right now, that center dot, non-GMO, isoflavin free. When you have these people who think they're really smart, who know everything about soy, just say, oh yeah, that doesn't apply to us because we're non-GMO, isoflavin free soy.
So that was one of the other concerns, is that they said, okay, women who had an estrogen receptor positive breast cancer or ovarian cancer can't have soy. That's not true. You actually can have soy in reasonable amounts a day, but again, ours are isoflavin free, so there's no daxine, no genistein. Those are the two phytoestrogens that theoretically cause problems. There's a recent study out there now that looked at 9,000 people in Asia that had breast cancer, ovarian cancer, and the ones who were on the soy actually fared much better, didn't have a second incidence of cancer.
Could you see it more quickly?
And you also talked to Dr. Messina, who said we aren't going to turn our men into girly men, right?
That's true. So Dr. Messina is one of the leading authorities on soy. He's now a personal friend of mine, so I've talked to him over the years for different reasons. And you are not getting, for the men in the room who are bodybuilders, you're not going to get man boobs. I was speaking to a bodybuilder who was on the ViPack, on neuro, and on the shakes, and he's added 15 pounds, and also he's reduced his body fat, and so he thinks it's all muscle. I saw the guy, I think it's all muscle too.
Absolutely. And ladies and gentlemen, the reason why is because it's more highly absorbed. You heard Audrey talk about that. That's the reason we chose the highest grade protein on the market, because it's more highly absorbed. And for those folks out there, Audrey just answered another objection. Did you catch the one about, well, I only see so many grams of protein? That's a huge takeaway right there. If you haven't gotten that, maybe one day you will. And you heard her, to keep it simple, ladies and gentlemen, it's quality over quantity. It drives me crazy to think that people walk into a GNC or a vitamin shop and they're like, oh, this one, look at the back of the labeling. It has 45 grams of protein per serving. Can you talk about that for just a second?
Yeah, a lot of protein, first of all, not all protein is created equal. And so a lot of companies will take gelatin, and spike the grams of protein in their shake by adding gelatin. Now, gelatin is great for skin, hair, and nails, but it's not going to build your lean muscle. Other companies use dehydrated milk powder. Okay, that's great. We want you to mix your shake with milk. Calcium's good for you. Not going to build your lean muscle the same way. Then other people use simple whey concentrate. It's about whey, just plain whey. It's about 70%, 74% absorbable. So when you see those 40 grams, it's because you're not going to absorb as much. And that's really where ours is cutting edge, is we put in the higher quality proteins. And the other thing that drives me nuts is people go soy isolate's bad for you. All it means is it's isolated protein out of all the rest of the stuff in soy.
That is a huge, huge, huge takeaway. Guys, give them a round of applause for those answers. That was awesome. There shouldn't be anybody in the audience now that has any problem with soy. Soy is what? Did Dr. Simon say? There you go. All right, and if you ever want to get a little boost of confidence and feel like, well, what if they ask me? Just have this printed out, ladies and gentlemen. It's one of the easiest things we have access to. It's right there in your back office. It is the There Is No Competition chart. You don't have to remember all the grams and milligrams and amounts of this and that. All you do is print it out, and the second they walk into your challenge party and you hand them a shake, you're going to hand them what? This sheet. Why? Because they can just read it for themselves. The video and the DVD and all that we play is going to explain everything about the challenge. You don't want them asking you 9,000 questions before they have a chance to watch the video. So the second you hand someone a shake, Hand them one of these charts so that they can go ahead and start reading about what it is that they're drinking. That is one best piece of advice. If you're taking notes, write that one down. That has helped the flow of so many challenge parties of my teammates that I've worked with.
Can I add one thing to that?
Please.
Also in your back office are two other charts. One's a breakfast comparison chart, and one is the cookie and shake meal comparison chart. I get a lot of emails from promoters going, well, can't I just eat and lose weight? And those charts will show you how hard it is to eat low-calorie foods and lose weight. We picked healthy low-calorie foods. We didn't stack the deck with Alfredo or anything like that. Even lean cuisine Alfredo.
I just want to make a point on that chart. In my previous life, I made the competition. See those photos on there? On that chart? I beg your forgiveness. The rest of them suck.
And what else I point out on the chart is we have a full serving of fiber. It's called Fiber Stop. One of the other emails I get from people is that it says maltodextrin, and I can't take it because it's bad for me. Well, we're using digestive-resistant maltodextrin. It's not simple maltodextrin. It is not a sugar. It's a prebiotic fiber. Prebiotics are good for you. What'll happen, and I hear it a lot, is, oh, I got gas for my first few days. I say, yes, for gas. Because that means the prebiotics are making those healthy probiotics in your gut multiply and be happy. And those probiotics, when they're happy, support your immune system, your digestive system, your nutrient absorption, regularity, and more.
It takes sometimes up to 6 weeks for your body to get used to the good bacteria. I just have to sit down. It takes up to 6 weeks for your body to get used to the good bacteria. And remember, you have more bad than good, and so the bad do not want to die. And when they die, they cause all sorts of bad things to happen. So adding yogurt, a powder, something to the shake could help in that situation. But after about 6 weeks, all the good guys are appearing, and you'll be fine.
But I say if your gas lasts more than 7 days, make sure you're using lactose-free milk. And for those of you who are like me, I can't use almond milk. You don't want to be in the room with me when I use almond milk. Switch out the almond milk if you're really past 7 days.
Great, great advice. And you know, when we as promoters, you hear you guys say this, there's so many things that stick out in our mind. But you know, Audrey said the best, guys. Everything that you need, really need, is right there in your back office. Just print it out. Don't try and be the genius scientist. Just slide the page over. And something else that really stood out that Dr. Witterly mentioned, you know, is he said, you know, with time, science progresses. You know, many years ago did he invent some of these products for our competition. But as it stands right now, we have to draw a line in the sand. If you don't already know this, I'll tell you with confidence. There is no competition. Our shake is the best shake on the market, period. Thank you guys for making the best shake on the market, period.
Do you do my diatribe on sucralose?
Where did he get there?
I don't know, because we're going to health flavors next. You want me to? Yeah. All right. I have to stand for this one. And again, if I ever meet certain people, I will slap them. All right. So we use sucralose in our shake. Yes, we do. Why? Because it's diabetic friendly, and obesity and diabetes are often go hand in hand. Now, a lot of people go to me, well, why don't you use xylitol or one of the sugar alcohols? And here's the reason why. 1, 2, 3, diarrhea. 1, 2, 3, diarrhea. 1, 2, 3. It's not a side effect that I think a lot of you would be very thankful for. And also xylitol, the amount of xylitol we would have to use in, say, neuro is toxic or fatal to a 40-pound dog. It would kill the dog. So when we say natural is better, not necessarily. Then a lot of people go to me, well, why not use agave? Agave is low glycemic. And it's not. Actually, agave is 90% fructose. Fructose spikes hunger. Not something you want in a diet product. Why don't you use fructose? Because fructose spikes hunger. Not something you want in a diet product. Why don't you use stevia? Stevia is great. We've got a little bit going pro. High doses of stevia can have some other issues like gas, and also people with ragweed allergies, they may not be able to use it, and it can taste bitter and licorice. So we go, okay, so of all the sweeteners out there, which one is the most studied? Which one is approved by the World Health Organization? Which one is approved by the American Diabetes Association? Which one is approved by Health Canada? Which one is approved by Health Ministry of UK? Which one is approved in 85 countries, been used for over 25 years with over 110 peer-reviewed articles? Show me that study, and then I will use that ingredient. Otherwise, sucralose is the best product on the market.
Great. For those of you taking notes, Audrey, 2 or 3 words on each of why not. Xylitol.
Diarrhea.
There you go. All right, agave.
Fructose spikes hunger.
Stevia.
Tastes bad, can cause gas.
Why sucralose?
Safest, most studied sweetener on the planet, safe, hot, and cold. Oh, and the last thing on it, people go, oh, but it's chlorinated. What that means is they take the sugar molecule and attach it to a chloride. Chloride finds in tomatoes and spinach and healthy fruits and vegetables. Chlorides are good for you. It's not the chlorine in your swimming pool. It's not the chlorine in your bleach. It's a whole different animal. And it's healthy for you. And oh, by the way, you have 2 teaspoons of chlorine in your body right now.
And Audrey and I were doing the math earlier. You would have to consume 2,862 shakes each day to just get the level that the FDA says you should not exceed.
And that's not the upper limit. And that's not the upper limit that's in the study.
That's what they say you shouldn't exceed in a day.
In a day. Okay, so let me rephrase that for those of you taking notes. You have to have 2,862 shakes a day to just be at the non-recommended level, not the gonna keel over and die level. The non-recommended level, 2,862
And actually they studied it, and they haven't gotten it to a level where you keel over. It's just, they've only studied it as high as if you had 84,000 shakes a day. But that's the upper limit they studied so far.
Does that answer everyone's question about sucralose? Thank you.
So now we can move on off of the shake.
All right. Now that we've got our answers now about the type of protein being the best on the market and the type of sugar we use, let's talk a little bit about the flavor mix-ins. A lot of people who are new to the challenge don't realize the science itself that has actually gone into just the mix-ins alone. So I learn something new every single time I hear these guys talk about the different flavors and the mix-ins. But you guys go to town on the different flavors and talk about what each of them do specifically.
I'll let them talk about what they did. The reason we created them is so you could have ultimate customization. If you want a chocolate banana, you want a strawberry fruity pebble flavor, you can take the strawberry and orange. So it's customization, so you can do a lot. Now, Dr. Simon, you want to talk about chocolate, cardiac hair, and polyphenols?
Oh my gosh. So, chocolate's actually not so bad for you. Dark chocolate's better, but I don't like dark chocolate. I like milk chocolate. But, anyways, dark chocolate's better. That's the kind of stuff that's inside here. It has very powerful polyphenols. Again, another type of a phytonutrient, very good for heart protection. There's a lot of other ingredients in there, and it's the chocolate is great.
And we have the equivalent of 6 to 8 bars of dark chocolate per packet. 6 to 8 bars of dark chocolate worth of polyphenols per packet.
Without the calories.
Without the calories. Dr. Witherly, strawberry, what are phytonutrients?
Phytonutrients are compounds that are created by plants to protect them from the oxygen, from insects, from disease, from fungi. When we ingest a phytonutrient, we get the same type of protection. It's kind of really amazing. So a strawberry phytonutrient blend is concentrated extracts of strawberry, very powerful anti-inflammatories, antioxidants. And they're really good for you. Now, what's the equivalent of eating strawberries?
We have an equivalent of 75 strawberries per packet.
There we go. So if you love your antioxidant blend, you want to get your phytonutrients, that's the one to get.
Now, I'm going to talk the Orange Everyday Defense has OptiZinc, a form of zinc, patented, and glycine and mellow extract. You can use this one every day. And we also have Vimunity. So I'm going to have you talk about the Orange Everyday and the Vimunity. When can you use them? You can use them
You can use them anytime you want, when you're feeling a little bit down, when you're feeling like you want a little bit Immunity is kind of one of my pet products because I helped make it one of the most famous Hakims, which is a medicine doctor in Pakistan. And we actually formulated this product because most people, if you go to a health food store, how many of you have tried echinacea? Raise your hand. Yeah, so, and how many of you have been helped by echinacea when you had your common cold? So what most people don't do, is I think I understand this, is echinacea is a pet peeve herb of mine. So there are about 9 different subtypes of echinacea. There's echinacea purpurea, there's echinacea pallida, there's echinacea angustifolia, and 6 others. We know from the science that echinacea purpurea leaf, which is the aerial part of the air part of that plant, works to enhance T cell and B cell function, which helps immune function. We know that echinacea pallida root also works to enhance T and B cell function. We know that echinacea angustifolia is a negative rated herb by the German Commission E. It's the most complete medicinal reference for the use of herbs, and we use that for all of our products, and we can put herbs inside there because it is probably the best reference. So it's a negative rated herb, but if you ever went to a health food store and there's 100 different bottles of echinacea, you'll see that 9 out of 10 bottles have echinacea angustifolia in it. Why? Because it's probably cheap, but it helps. It's the negative rated herb because it either means it doesn't work, it's dangerous, or not enough is known about it. So what do we do with Immunity? We have echinacea purpurea leaf, we have echinacea pallida root, we have golden seal, we have astragalus, we have vitamin C, we have zinc, we have a lot of other ingredients, and we have shown in some limited clinical studies that we can knock out the common cold and flu in about 2 to 3 days in about 85 to 90% of people. Now, the drug companies that you worked for so long have spent more than about $2 billion developing Tamiflu and all these other types of antivirals that basically can take a common cold that lasts 10 to 14 days and make it last 12.7 days and knock off about 1.3 days. Immunity, and again, there's some studies to support this with the specific ingredients. Immunity, we usually knock out the common cold and flu in about 2 or 3 days. But don't get sick and then take it midway because it probably won't help at that point. What has to happen is when you're on the airplane sitting next to somebody who's coughing up a lung, usually I sit next to them, they're like putting Glimbals and that's great. I've been breaking out in IHOP and I take 2 Immunity before I get on the plane. In events like this where you're around people, you should be on this as well, and it actually fires up your immune system in a very safe, effective way.
So I feel for our poor translator, just know that Immunity's got the good stuff, and it works. And you can take it when you feel you need it. Occasionally, the orange you can take every day. Now, the Peach Complexion Care has got biotin, type 2 collagen, glucosamine. Those are great.
Yeah, it's also got pine bark extract, which has about 150 studies on it. It directly gets into the body, into the bloodstream, and attaches to the skin. And many of those ingredients are clinical, showing it reduces wrinkles.
So if you want beautiful skin from within, add the peach. It's also got glucosamine, things that support joint health, though not to the degree that other products do, but it does help. And then last but not least, we have our banana, has 75 milligrams of caffeine from guarana. Guarana is a great lift that lasts. I like to say these are great for children, except for the guarana, unless you want to get even with your neighbor and feed their kids the banana health flavor before they go home. But you can mix them into your shake. Try the strawberry in your Neuro, either flavor. It's amazing. I actually mix the chocolate in my coffee now and then because I like that. Try and make your hot chocolate souffle with it. There's a recipe for a hot chocolate souffle. And have fun with them. Try them in yogurt. Try them in other things.
I've heard that if a kid gets a banana mix and energy charge, they suddenly talk as fast as Dr. Simon.
So, ladies and gentlemen, sum it up, right? No banana for the kids, unless you want them bouncing on the walls more than they already do. And really quick, because obviously now we have, the kids that are being fed from every person in this room that's going to lose 10 pounds or gain 10 pounds. What about the shake for kids? Is there an amount that's safer or a weight limit or?
Yeah, children have different needs for protein than adults. So on your shake in the US, you'll see it says for kids, 4 to 12, 1 scoop, 12 and above 2. In Canada, because of the way the laws read, we had to say not recommended for children under 12, but if you're going to give it to them 1 to 12, 1 to 4 to 12, 1 scoop, 12 and above 2. And in the UK, it doesn't say it on the label yet because the government there won't let us, but for children, 4 to 12, 1 scoop, 12 and above 2.
That's pretty helpful, right? How many of you guys have kids that are already drinking the shakes with you? They come running when they hear the blender. I love that. I know dogs do too.
Oh, and also, a little secret. How many of you like kettle corn? Sprinkle your shake mix on your popcorn when you have that popcorn treat. It tastes just like kettle corn.
That's a new one, Audrey. Thank you. All right, how many of you guys feel better now about the health flavor mix ends, right? A little more appreciation for those. Oh, let's talk about the cookies. Any other cookie addicts out there? I know I am. Oh my gosh. So let's talk a little bit about this. I mean, they were obviously designed to be the perfect healthy snack on the go.
The cookies have the same Trizor protein blend as our shake. They have 9 to 10 grams of protein per cookie and a full serving of fiber. Again, it's going to help keep you full, help keep your blood sugar level. But we also did something unique in there in that we put in 2.2 serving of fruit and vegetable nutrients. Do you want to talk about what those are?
Yes, the BodyByVi and BodyByVi are added to it, but they have a high antioxidant content, so it's like having 4 servings of fruits and vegetables without actually having 4 servings of fruits and vegetables. But the cookie also has Slendesta. It's a potato protein that makes you feel full. It's kind of like in the Lord of the Rings, Lambus bread. One little bite fills up your whole stomach. So that's it. And I just want to mention that inulin we use, that's a special inulin that we don't use in the shake. This inulin is shown to increase calcium absorption in kids.
And the cookie has a full serving of calcium. And I do encourage you to read that label. You're going to see broccoli, Brussels sprouts, spinach, kale, onion, carrot. Can you tell it does a few dozen times?
So you guys are telling us that you snuck in fruits and vegetables into the cookies?
Yeah,
Awesome.
so they're great snacks for kids and adults.
I love it. How many of you guys are obsessed with your favorite cookie, right?
And they're now gluten-free.
Oh! Now they're gluten-free. See, I told you guys I learned something too, just like you do every single time these amazing people speak. So we're getting close to time here. Did you guys give us a full hour in the back? Just shake your head yes or no. In the back. AV guys, yes or no, did you give us a full hour? Okay, we did full hour, so we'll fix our time for us, so we'll know. Thank you. Let's talk a little bit about the instant energy with the Go Shot, the Superman and Superwoman drink. I know this is a product that is a baby for you guys that you love as well. So talk a little bit about what it's actually doing in the body.
The Go Shot and the Pro are kind of innovative when it comes to sports nutrition. We wanted something go to get you up and move, and then the Pro is while your water bottle's got more special sugar in there. They're very different than what they have, and Audrey will go into it real quickly, but we have special ingredients in here that you don't see anyplace else. Write this down on your notepad. We use Power Grape Extract. Power Grape Extract from Bordeaux seeds from France. Very expensive extract. And it's like exercise in a bottle. 8 weeks, 400 milligrams per day. People's aerobic capacity increased 37% without exercising. Isn't that cool?
Say that one more time, Dr. Lilly, about the increasing without
400
exercise.
milligrams of Power Grape did what?
It increased your ability to aerobically exercise by 37%. And also, the professor told me, it increases your red blood cell count by up to 4%. That's like training at 8,000 feet, jogging for 2 months.
So your workouts get 37% better.
Yeah.
All right, that's awesome.
And also Power Grape has been shown to help with recovery performance as well. If you Google the clinicals, you'll find them on the internet.
On the internet.
We use this very expensive Power Grape extract for a reason, and the Go Shot is amazing. Now it's got isomalitose, which is a non-insulin spiking carbohydrate similar to a sweetener. It's really great because if you're an athlete and you get insulin uptakes while you're working out, weakens your performance. We didn't include that in there. Now, a lot of energy drinks put a lot of sugar, a lot of taurine, a lot of caffeine in there, so we do not. We don't do any of that. We have 100 milligrams of caffeine. That's about 2/3 of a cup of coffee. Dr. Simon, is caffeine safe for you?
I guess this stuff. Oh, thank you. You cut me off. Yeah, so caffeine, as you heard, is about 2/3 of a cup of coffee. So a cup of tea is about 40 milligrams. This has got about 100 milligrams. Caffeine can cause dehydration, so you want to make sure that you're well hydrated. But caffeine does give you an important energy boost, and it can last for up to 6 hours. So if you're over the age of about 30 and you don't sleep well, don't have it after probably noon for most people. The other thing that I thought was very interesting, we're going to talk about in a moment, is Neuro. Neuro only has 40 milligrams of caffeine. In order to bring it into Canada and to have the energy, we had to up the caffeine to what? To 100 milligrams.
Yeah, go figure. Every government's a little different. They're all kind of quirky to work with.
So if you had the perfect time for the athletes out there to take Go, would it be before, during, or after their workout?
Well, the answer is yes. We like to say that the Go before or the Pro before. Now, Dr. Willerly says one thing, his wife, who's also a scientist, says another. Dr. Willerly likes to say Go before, Pro during. She likes Pro before, Go during. Go figure.
So you can customize these products any way you want because they are different. So let your body guide what you should be taking. If you feel like you need 10 Neuros and 5 Pros to go, do it. No, I'm just kidding. But customize it to make yourself feel better. Use your body as a guide.
Now,
one other thing that I think is relevant to me personally, so my wife and I go out, we have a couple of friends that we love very much, but they're kind of boring, I guess that's the name. So my wife will go, honey, will you grab a Go? And I go, yeah, great idea. And we pick a Go, and we're like, pleasantly wired throughout the evening. And don't get me wrong, we love these people, it's kind of boring. So it's,
And it takes care of boring people. Add that to your notes.
so I also want to point out one thing that we get asked a lot, and it's preservatives. There are no preservatives in our product other than the Go Shot. Obviously, it's a liquid, so that is the only product within our entire product line that has a preservative. Just so you know that. Now, Go has got twice the power grip of Pro. Pro has twice the isomaltose of Go. I know that's all technical geek speak, but we did them for a reason. The isomaltose supports your muscle energy, and it's going to help you work out longer, work out stronger with less effort. That's one of the reasons we put it in there. And the Pro, again, can mix in water or in any beverage, so you can take that one with you to the gym.
And these slides are in their back office, too.
Absolutely.
So this information is there. We're trying to also give some additional.
I just want to mention the last thing about the sugar that we use in this. It seems almost too good to be true. The platinose is the trade name of isomaltose. Get this. It looks like sugar, it tastes like sugar, doesn't act like sugar. It comes from Germany. It's non-carcinogenic. You can't hurt your teeth. It doesn't increase insulin, so it's diabetic friendly. And it has one interesting side effect that no other sugar has. It shrinks your fat cell.
Ooh.
And you know why the competition?
Allow us to say that. Of course, the color.
And you know why the competition doesn't use it? It's too expensive for Herbalife. Too expensive for Amway.
So, as you guys know, he is a doctor, so he can't make medical claims. If you're not a doctor, you can't say that because you can't make medical claims. So
that's a little bit about Go and Pro, and if you're going to use Go before, Pro during, and Neuro after,
all right, let's talk about Neuro.
Difference. Now, Neuro is a can of soda, so very little amount of caffeine. And again, other brands like Monster and Rockstar, all of them use cocaine is actually a drink that was out there for a while. They use high levels of caffeine, high levels of taurine, and high levels of sugar. So all the caffeine does at 180 to 200 milligrams. You get all jittery on the taurine, and then you get the sugar rush, and then you crash.
A smart drug that's used in Europe for 30, 40 years, but now it's natural compound found in fish and other foods, and it gets to the brain, and it does one thing especially well: focus and attention. Focus and attention.
I want to add a little bit. So Neuro is a favorite of mine. I mean, my kids would tell me they're driving home from school, a 6-hour drive after doing finals in the middle of the night, and they say, "Don't worry, Dad, I'm taking a Rockstar, I'm taking a cocaine." What? Whatever they would tell me they're drinking. So a lot of those drinks give you this massive spike, a lot of sugar, a lot of caffeine, and then you have an equally rapid fall off. So this, to me, was really the fun thing when Steve Witherly first came to the company, and Audrey and I were working on this, and this is one of the ones where Steve and I went back forth, and I said, well, I want to have this. And Steve
We argued a lot.
we were what?
We argued a lot on
That's
this one.
good, because you guys invented this genius product.
I chose the word disgusting. So we were going back and forth about ingredients, and I wanted to have this, and then he goes, yeah, that's a nice ingredient, but it'll give you too much gas. And then I came up with the DMAE, which I thought that was interesting, and he liked that. And green tea, which is, so green tea has a very interesting compound called Epi-3-gallocatechin. I got interviewed by the Washington Post. I actually rub green tea on my face every once in a while. I actually eat the green tea leaves, which is really good for you. But it's been shown to be very helpful for cognition. It's been shown to actually reduce your risk of certain types of cancer. Now again, I once had somebody come across the stage here and said, when I heard Dr. Seidman said we can cure cancer, I kind of, obviously my heart skipped a couple beats. We're not saying that. But we actually studied the Epi-3-gallocatechins in the green tea in our lab, and we showed a 300% increase in cancer cell kill rate in vitro. In vitro means it's in a test tube. It doesn't necessarily mean it translates in vivo, which means it's in your body. But, you know, a lot of our Asian colleagues drink an awful lot of green tea, and they also have a significantly lower risk of many different types of cancers that we see here in America. So I think the green tea, the DMAE, rhodiola has been used by the Russian Olympics for more than 30 plus years. It's safe, it's effective, and it's a very nice compound that's mixed together that really gives you a steady state of what I like to say some brain power and focus, as Stephen so nicely said.
And then last but not least, we have arginine in there, which helps keep your blood vessels, if enough in your diet, soft and flexible and dilated, and helps with oxygen. So in a little 45 milligrams, you're getting ingredients to support your body and your brain, and also give you hydration. And the reason it's in the transformation kit is when you cut your calories, you cut your energy, but also 74% of adults are dehydrated. 1/3 of us confuse thirst for hunger, so we eat when we're really hungry. So we put the Neuro or the Pro and Go in the Pro in the transformation kit, so that we make sure that when you cut your calories, you've got a little healthy energy there, and we're getting some hydration in you as well.
So the arginine is fascinating. We studied this in our laboratory as well, and you heard Audrey say it's a very potent vasodilator, so it improves vasculature, it improves blood flow to the brain as well. And so the other thing, and I always forget, is Go or Pro that has citrulline, or do they?
Citrulline malate.
Yeah, they both have, Go and Pro have both.
Citrulline is a precursor to arginine, so citrulline actually in your body gets converted to arginine, and then you also have it there as well. So a very interesting compound that's made in your body can just give you a little bit more.
So my hope that you take away is that, as Ashley said, you don't need to know any of this, but there is so much thought that goes into each ingredient that goes into each of our products, and we design them to work together and to be effective. And a lot of athletes ask me, is there any banned substance in our products? And the answer is no, there are no banned substances in our products.
There you go. So we got about 10 more minutes. Stick with us, guys. Learn something that could absolutely change somebody's life that you know, if not your own. Give us 10 more minutes. There's plenty of time for the partying later. But this is life-changing stuff. This is why we're all here. This is why you guys came to learn from these people. So let's continue to pick their brains here for about 10 more minutes and finish up with the ViTrim and ViSlim. I talked about it earlier, why the transformation kit is so powerful, and why when you're talking to folks at challenge parties, you gotta tell them, hey look, when it comes to your body, don't be cheap on yourself. If you're gonna cut corners somewhere else in your life, cut corners there, but not when it comes to what you put in your body. And if you want to lose weight yesterday, or if you want to lose weight now and you want to keep it off, the absolute best option for you is a transformation kit. And these are the 2 reasons why. And I'm going to let you guys cover the ViTrim and ViSlim and how they work together with the shake to make the best kit available for people for weight loss.
Now, the #1 reason diets fail is people get hungry. The average man in America and Canada today is eating 3,850 calories. So if you go on our program and follow it, you're going to get down to about 1,800. You're going to get hungry and cranky. And after 3 days, we don't want you to give up. So we put ViTrim in there so you can mix it in your shake, mix it in your Neuro, and help curb that hunger. But it has other things in it there that also support healthy mood, like PEA. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, PEA is a compound that's found in chocolate. They say that phenylethylamine is a compound that's actually a mood enhancer. It helps with neurotransmitters. But what's interesting about this ViTrim, which I think is an underappreciated product, 3 weeks ago, this stuff has been in Ayurvedic medicine for 2,500 years. It's been used for weight loss. The mechanism wasn't quite known. We know it increases serotonin, but as of 3 weeks ago, I pulled a paper. It also enhances the leptin response to the body, which tells the fat cell to also shrink. I didn't know that until 3 weeks ago. And how long ago did we formulate this?
7 years ago.
Divine inspiration.
Dr. Simon needs his mic, guys.
Thank you. Leptin and ghrelin are basically regulators that make you feel hungry or make you feel like you have satiety and you're full. And one thing that's critical, and I know we're talking about product, but sleep is critical. You can't lose weight without sleep. You can't lose weight without having breakfast. So make sure you have, I have a cookie for breakfast. That happens to be my breakfast, but a shake is as well. And you can't lose weight without appropriate nutrients on board. So I think that the whole world also needs to be on the BiPAC to give you the nutrients that your body needs, the platform of nutrients to help you gain.
That's just for those of you on the transformation kit. The omega is in the transformation kit for a reason. There are a lot of clinicals that show if you have omega, when you're losing weight and exercising, you're going to lose it better than if you don't have the omega. So each kit was designed for a reason. Now ViSlim is amazing because it's caffeine free. It's not going to jack you up with harsh stimulants. So people who come to me and go, well, what about if I have high blood pressure? Yeah, you can use it because it doesn't have those stimulants in it that other brands have. And ViSlim's got chocamine in it. It's derived from cocoa. There are great things in there that are going to help your body's metabolism, support a healthy metabolism, and help you lose more weight. So the kit was designed for a reason with Slim, Trim, Neuro, or Pro, and the Omega for a lot of reasons. So if you really want to transform your body the fastest, that's the transformation kit.
And people end up saving, what, like $250, $300 a month on their grocery bill anyway, because they're replacing 2 meals a day with the shake, which is the best shake on the market. It's genius. It doesn't matter what your financial story is, or how much money you make or don't make, or your education, or where you live. It doesn't matter. Every person can get on the transformation kit and afford it and actually save money and see results. It is a win-win, ladies and gentlemen, and people on your team who need to see results, get them on this transformation kit. We're going to finish up today, the last few minutes here, with my personal favorite product of our product line, which is the ViPAC. How many of you love the ViPAC out there? If you haven't gotten on the ViPAC, guys, you can add it to whatever kit you'd like to add it to. It does come inside of the core kit, or you can add it onto the others. But let's talk a little bit about why these guys who haven't tried the ViPAC need to be on the ViPAC.
And this is a Dr. Simon.
And this is Dr. Simon's baby. So Dr. Simon, over to you.
So I started making nutritional supplements in my dorm room in 1978 because I didn't like what was out there. The Centrums, the one-a-days, the Theragrams, I just didn't think they were very good. They weren't natural. They were all very synthetic. They weren't very well absorbed. So I started basically piecemealing this together, and I had a bunch of batch of powder in my room. It then segued to the lab work that I did at my hospital and then the federally funded types of work. So it's about 25 years of research that's gone into that. I could talk to you for about 10 hours on the ingredients in the ViPAC. I have about 2 or 3 minutes, so I'm going to quickly do that. So the anti-age energy formula is a patented formula. Nobody else has it. It has 4 main ingredients in this: acetyl L-carnitine, alpha-lipoic acid, coenzyme Q10, and glutathione. Most people argue that glutathione is not great because it's not well absorbed. We use glutathione and methyl ester. That form is very well absorbed in the combination. It's actually a very impressive formulation. We've actually shown, and this is, I love the mitochondrial DNA deletion. So I'm considered a world authority in mitochondrial function. The mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. Am I talking too fast? Is this better? Really? All right. So the mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. The mitochondria produces all of it, 98% of the ATP in your body. Mitochondrial function declines with age as early as in your late 20s or 30s. When you turn that clock back, the patent has shown that we can actually upregulate mitochondrial function in a safe and effective way with that product. So that's what it does. We also look at mitochondrial DNA deletions. As you get older, you have specific deletions. The mitochondria doesn't work very well. We have limited data, and I wouldn't go quoting this, but we have shown that in an animal model we can repair that mitochondria, or you see fewer mitochondrial DNA deletions, which is a biomarker for aging. Moving on to the antioxidant, as you can see, it's got 26 different types of nutrients inside the antioxidant formula. And we have things, most people will look at this and look at the bottle and say, well, I've got vitamin E, I've got vitamin C, I've got zinc, and and that's great, but they don't have resveratrol. So we have the equivalent of more than 70 glasses of red wine extract in the antioxidant formula. So I think somebody once lovingly said, I can take the antioxidant and the ViPack and still drive home, even though you just had about 70 glasses of red wine. It has pine bark extract, it has more acetyl L-carnitine, it has alpha-lipoic acid. These are things that are very critical and very powerful antioxidants that most people don't have. The multiple vitamin and mineral formula is a very powerful formula. One of the things that you heard in the group, where there are 12 or 14,000 people we were talking about, is we dot our I's, we cross our T's. One of the things that we do is we use chelated forms of minerals because it enhances their absorption. So we don't give you calcium carbonate, we give you calcium glycinate. Glycinate is actually an amino acid, the body absorbs that amino acid, drags calcium in it. We don't give you zinc sulfate, we give you zinc monomethionate, another form of chelated minerals. So it's a very powerful formula and it works beautifully. The omegas, I'm sorry, I was told I have to breathe. The omegas, we heard there in the transformation kits. The omegas, I mean, I could do an entire hour story on this, but I don't have that. So there's the omega-3s, 6s, and 9s that are called essential oils that we need in our body. Actually, you make the 9s and they're not officially essential. But the problem is that, and this is, I got to do a dance to this makes sense. So the omega-3s are what we see in fish, for example. The omega-3s are very powerful compounds for brain, for heart health. They're anti-depression qualities, a lot of different things. The typical American diet has 20 to 1 of omega-3s to omega-6s. I said that backwards. The long story short is omega-6s are actually pro-inflammatory. Omega-3s are anti-inflammatory. Our diets, the typical American diet, is a very inflammatory diet. So we're looking at things that are anti-inflammation. And so the typical American diet is actually 20 to 1 of omega-6s to 3s. The typical Mediterranean diet is 3 to 1 of omega-3s to 6s. I know that gets complicated, but the point is that the Mediterranean diet favors the omega-3s. And most people who give you omegas with a lot of 3s in them give you the 3 to 1 ratio, which is very good. We actually give you a 12 to 1 ratio of omega-3s to omega-6s. So 4 times more. A lot of companies don't molecularly distill their oils. We, again, because we dot our I's and cross our T's, we actually molecularly distill the oils, which costs a fair amount of money, but I think I'm worth it, my wife is worth it, my kids are worth it, and I think every single person in this room is worth it. Sadly, we're poisoning our streams and lakes and rivers, and there's a lot of mercury in the fish, PCBs and heavy metals. If you don't molecularly distill, you're basically getting those. So we molecularly distill, so there's no heavy metals, there's no mercury, there's no PCBs in our fish oils. And then we also put phosphatidylcholine, phosphatidylserine, which are critical for brain health. We also use evening primrose oil, flaxseed oil, and pumpkin seed oil, which are all very good for you. I'm sorry.
No. I love it. So Dr. Simon, but I eat so healthy. Dr. Simon, I have an amazing diet. Why do I need to take the ViPack?
Oh, that's a very good question. So on Sunday evenings, I make a bag of broccoli, cauliflower, spinach, and carrots. I do this, and everybody says, oh, that's so cute, your wife does this. I said, no, I do this for my wife. So I make 10 bags on Sunday evening of those. I don't really like vegetables very much, and I now have the Nutri-Cookies, thanks to Steve and Audrey, that I get to eat those for about 2.5 helpings of fruits and vegetables. The long story short is that no matter, so there's a lot of healthy people in this room, and I see this, and I think we're changing lives. We're going to have a lot of skinny, healthy people because of the products that we offer, which is wonderful. And then you could argue that, well, what about skinny, healthy people? The long story short is that even in our fruits and vegetables today, the nutrient density, the mineral density is about 90 to, they say, 95% less than what it was even 100 years ago. We've depleted our soil, we've had lots of issues with that, so you really need these nutrients. So even if you have a healthy diet, you can still stand to gain from the ViPack.
Yeah, and I just want to add 2 things to what you're just saying that made me think of something. One is if you're not eating salmon or sardines or mackerel 3 to 5 times a week, the omega helps every cell in your body. 2, there was a study done by the government with 23,000 people over a 2-year period of time showing that 94% of us don't get enough vitamin E. 1/3 of us don't get enough vitamin C every day. And then the questions that came in my head that I hear were people going, well, A, there's vitamins and minerals in the shake. Do I have to add the ViPack? And the answer is, Vitamin and mineral RDIs are the minimal amount that you need to survive, not the optimal amount you need to live healthy. So yes, if you can afford to add the Vi-Pack, absolutely. And the third thing that popped in my head is he was spewing off all these technical words, right? And a lot of people go, oh, well, I can't pronounce what's in your product, so I'm not going to eat it. How many of you have heard that before? Right? Here's the answer to that. Those are the scientific names for vitamins and minerals. We are legally required to list them that way. So I can say to you, does H2O sound like anything? No, it sounds very chemically, but we've all been trained that H2O is water. But we have to list it like it were H2O on the label. So that's why when you see that, just know those are the vitamins and minerals.
Two other quick things. So she really alluded to this already, that 1 out of 3 people on this planet have a significant micronutrient deficiency, even if you're eating a healthy diet. That's one of the things. So that means, and that's not just in sub-Saharan Africa, that's here in the United States. So 1 out of 3 of you, if you're not on the Vi-Pack, probably have a micronutrient deficiency. And that's something that's very important to realize, because we can really affect our diet, affect our health by doing those types of things appropriately.
So, closing comments from these three. Dr. Weatherly, over to you. Anything else you'd like to add?
I just want to stress that it's a pleasure formulating for everybody in this audience. We have a lot of good stuff coming up. We've improved the stuff we currently have. And I love formulating for you, along with Dr. Simon and Audrey, who's the inspiration behind all these products. As long as I take breath, these will be the best I could possibly make. So help me God.
We're an unhealthy planet. I work in one of the largest health systems in the world, and we are not providing health care, we're providing sick care. We have an opportunity here. ViSalus, in my opinion, has given us some very powerful tools to meaningfully impact health and wellness on this planet. You owe it to yourself, you owe it to your families, to eat healthy, get enough sleep, appropriately supplement, lose weight, exercise, and take good care of yourself, because you're worth it.
And my last comment is, we're doing this here because of you. We could have jobs at other companies and formulate products and never see the people who fight the good fight, that are out there taking the no's and taking the why should I's and turning those around. And it is our privilege to hear from you and to see you. It inspires us and it honors us, and we thank you for all of your hard work.